Welcome back to Impossibly Unremarkable, a podcast hosted by myself, Jonathon Butts, and my longtime friend, co-host, and prince, Elliot Markson.
Yes, and we are two old men in a nursing home begging you, our long relatives, our young grandchildren, please come visit us. Please, we're so lonely. We're so lonely. Please. Isn't that right?
That's right.
How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm feeling good. I'm wearing this jersey you got me last week.
Looks really good.
It's real tight on the muscles. I feel like the Hulk in this thing, man.
You look like the Hulk.
Thanks, dude. I'm trying.
You're not green, though.
No.
You're not wearing purple pants.
No.
You're not like 8 feet tall.
So really, if you think about it that way, then I don't resemble the Hulk at all.
Yeah.
Actually, I just kind of resemble just somebody who might play soccer or maybe did it at one point in their lifetime.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good gift. I love it. I'm wearing it. It feels good. I feel alive today.
Good.
You told me before this that you're feeling like a little silly Billy.
I am feeling quite silly. I don't know. I just got a case of the giggles.
Case of the giggles.
Yeah,
That's fun.
Maybe it's because it's been a week since we've really sat down and talked.
I know. We need to do this more often.
Yeah.
Really sit down.
2 episodes a week.
Yeah,
Every
2 a
week.
week. Let's take it up a notch.
Megan will love that.
Yeah, I feel like she will. She will. She loves when we infiltrate her space, and she has to be quiet for at least a solid hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us what's been going on with you. I feel like there has been quite a bit happening in your life lately, so let's catch us up to date here.
Nothing of particular interest or value has occurred within the last week.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'll talk about what I've done. No.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on.
If you haven't seen my social media postings on Instagram or Facebook,
Yep.
that's A-okay.
Yeah.
Social media is stupid.
Yeah. It's a farce.
A farce.
It's a facade.
A facade.
It's all fake. Nothing's real on there.
It is all fake.
It's not worth it. But he is worth a follow. He's good. He posts good, handsome pictures of himself.
Thanks. I really don't
Thirst traps every once in a while.
I try to keep my Instagram posting to a minimum, and I've debated just deleting everything off of it.
Ooh.
And just like going quiet, just using it as a tool to see what my friends are up to.
Yeah, I use it like that too, just keeping up to date. But a part of me, wants to delete them, but also I feel like, I look back and I'm like, memories,
That's true.
It's a timeline of where I've been, what I've come from, and how I got to where I am now. But just the highlights.
Just the highlights.
Just the highlights.
Not the lowlights.
No.
It would be way more fun if people just posted like, I mean, I guess that's what people on Twitter do. But Instagram, if we
Or be real.
Yeah, or if we flipped the script and your Instagram was strictly just your lowlights, like the worst parts of your life caught on video, on images.
Yeah. I mean, some people do that with like their Finsta. Or like, I don't know if people still do Finstas. Does that like still a thing?
I've never had a Finsta. I don't think I've ever subscribed to a Finsta.
Yeah, like people used to have those, if we all remember, and they would post like weird shit, or like it'd be like either partying or it'd be them being way brutally honest about what's going on in their lives and their mental health, and it'd be like these like long paragraph posts and just a picture of them crying, and it'd be like, man, I had a really tough week this week, things aren't going very well, and it's just been really hard for me, blah blah blah. Or it would be a picture of a bag of weed or something.
I'm gonna backtrack. Let's keep that all to yourself. I only want to see the good parts of your life.
Yeah.
I got enough going on in mine.
Don't show me the dirt. I don't want to see it.
Yeah. But back to the
Let's
original.
take a step back.
So I don't post often, but what I did post this week was that Emily and I just got engaged last week.
Woo!
On Wednesday, the 15th of February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're an engaged man now. How does it feel? Do you feel different?
I do feel a little different. It's kind of weird. I've had a girlfriend for 6 or so years.
Long time.
I no longer have that girlfriend.
Yeah. Now she's a fiancée.
She's a fiancée, and the correct spelling is with 2 e's, one of them accented. I think,
are you serious?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So if it's the woman in a relationship and an engagement, they are the fiancé with 2 e's.
Oh.
Whereas the man is just 1 e. Accented e.
I get it. It's a gender thing.
It is a gender thing.
The French do that.
They do that.
Every word is like gendered. Did you know boat is a female in French? The French word for boat, it's a female. It's a like a feminine. It's a feminine word.
So what's the word for boat?
I don't remember.
Wow, that was really valuable
But if you want to look it up, it's a feminine word. I remember that. The French are wild, but that's crazy. The spelling thing, crazy.
Yeah, so that's like the first thing.
Fiancé.
I think I texted you guys and it was like, hey, look at my fiance, and I used the wrong one, so I had to correct it because I don't want you to think that Emily was masculine.
I mean, I wouldn't.
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. Who cares?
But yeah, we were in New York City. We flew in last Wednesday, and later in the day, around like 6-ish p.m., maybe 5 p.m.
Okay.
I popped the question. Would you like
at 6 p.m.? Yeah, I want
between 5 and 6.
I want the full story of how you popped the question. Were you just walking and you got on a knee and did it, or was there an elaborate setup?
It was not elaborate. I'll just rip the Band-Aid off. It was not sexy. It wasn't overly romantic. It wasn't, this huge thing. It was very, very minimal. But so we flew in. We got in around like 2:00. Had a really good Philly cheesesteak.
Ooh,
with
in New York.
Yeah,
the New York cheesesteak. Is it better than Philly's?
I'll say this: the Philly cheesesteak, the place that I love here in Minnesota, was way better than
really
there. But it was still good. It was still good.
Okay.
But we got lunch, dropped off our shit, and then my uncle Rex, who had picked us up from the airport, he dropped us off at Central Park. We were going to meet him and my other uncle Scott later for dinner. But I had asked them like, "Hey, can you take us to Central Park? We're going to walk around for a couple hours. We'll meet up for dinner or whatever."
Yeah.
And so we get dropped off. We're kind of walking around. I don't know why. Like, I know New York City is fucking packed with people.
Yeah.
I had it in my head that for some reason on like a Wednesday night, it would somehow be less so packed. But that wasn't the case. But we walked around for like 40, 50 minutes. And it's like Central Park is huge if you've never been. It has a bunch of different sections to it. We were just kind of talking and having a good time. But the first conundrum, the first thing I had to deal with was, so I was wearing this exact jacket.
Yeah. It's a good jacket.
Our first couple days in New York, it was fucking beautiful. It was like 65 degrees.
Ooh.
It was excellent.
Perfect.
And so I'm like, okay, I have this box in my pocket.
Yeah.
It's a pretty thick box. And I was actually wearing these joggers too.
Oh, tight joggers.
Almost the entire
He's
assembly.
not standing, but I saw him earlier. Tight.
So I'm wondering, like, where do I put the ring without it being super obvious that I'm holding a ring? And so, because I didn't want to take it out of the box, because then what's the point of the box? And if I took it out of the box, put it in my pocket, it's way easier for me to like misplace it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep it in my left pocket.
Ooh.
And keep my hand in my left pocket, and then there's not going to be a bulge.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk around like this.
No one likes a bulge.
No one likes a bulge. And so we're walking, and like she wanted to hold hands, but she kept going on my left side. And I was like, "This isn't natural,
This feels wrong.
You're
this feels
always
wrong.
on my right side.
Get on the other
You have to be
side.
on my right side." She's like, "Okay, that's weird. I feel like we walk, each way, but it doesn't really matter." I'm like, "Well, I prefer you on my right side, just because I don't want her. I didn't want her hand to like to graze the box." And
I've
be like,
always thought
"What's
this.
that?"
I just never said anything. Get on the right side.
And so she finally obliged. We were walking through this like kind of more wooded area part of the park. And I was just looking for like the perfect spot.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want someone to walk by while I'm on the ground on my knee.
Sure.
I don't really like strangers. I don't like
me neither.
Public, being in public. Some people love public, proposals, but that's not really Emily. That's not really me. And so I finally kind of found the spot. Had this nice view of like a pond, and then beyond the pond, you can kind of see like this, cutout of the city. So it looked really nice. And we sit down on this bench, and we're just talking. And I'm like, you know what? It might be time to do it. It might be time to do it. And then like I don't know where this like girl comes and sits on the bench, like
next to you,
like 6 feet away. There's another bench.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, ruins it.
And I was like, you know what? I can't do it here. I'm not gonna wait for her. And then like, because she just sat down. People in Central Park, they just sit down. They probably sit down there for hours,
Yeah.
Just taking in the day, which is A-okay.
Right.
It's a beautiful place.
It's New York. They've been walking all day. They need a place to sit down, rest their bones.
Yeah. And so I was like, fuck it. This spot is cooked. I can't be here.
Yeah.
I've been burned. And so we got up and we walked for maybe 20 minutes, 30 more minutes. And we finally found this spot that it was kind of like a clearing. It was still surrounded by woods, and there was like a trail kind of circling the whole place. So people could still pop out at any time.
Sure.
But up into the clearing, there was like a nice like handmade wooden bench. Not like your like metal bench, but like,
it was made from hand.
Yeah, made from
like
hand.
Some carpenter, a Nick Offerman type.
Yeah, but
chiseling away at a nice
like,
piece of oak.
It wasn't like it was like more rugged,
Yeah.
not like a nice polished, sanded down.
Right. You don't want it too polished.
Yeah.
You want that natural rustic look.
Yeah.
Perfect bench.
The bench really didn't matter. But
Best part of
but
it.
we sat down there, and I for a couple minutes, I'm just like looking around, like making sure there's no one behind us,
Yep.
no one coming up in front of us. And finally, I was like, just out loud, I was like, well, this is probably the best time to make it happen. Best time to do it. And so I got down on one knee.
Wait, did you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Wait, so you kind of gave her a little warning. You're like, all right, this is it. This is the best part to do it.
But
and she's like, what?
So like I got down on one knee and I said the things that I said.
What'd you say?
That's not your fucking business.
You had a speech beforehand?
No, I didn't prepare anything.
Oh, so you just in the moment
gave a
little spiel?
Said what I felt. She said yes, thankfully. And then
So you got on one knee.
Okay.
So you gave her a little spiel on one knee.
Yeah, gave her a little spiel.
Took out the ring. Was the ring already out when you were doing the spiel?
So I was grabbing out the ring and I planned to have it in my hand while I was talking to her, so she could see the ring.
Right.
Present the ring.
Sure.
But the box, it wasn't like a traditional, flip top box.
Okay.
It was more of a wooden circular.
Like you take off the top.
Yeah, take off the top. And so I opened it, and I opened it upside down. so the ring had fallen onto like the other side of the box.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I already fucked up the presentation. But so I take out the ring, and then I start trying to like close the box.
Yeah.
While I'm doing the spiel, and it just wouldn't close. So I just like fuck it, threw it on the ground. Told her that I loved her, amongst other things.
Wow.
She said yes. We hugged, did all those things, and as soon as like she said yes, people were like coming from this side, coming from fucking this side. I'm not one for public displays of affection. I'll obviously walk around, hold hands, but I don't want to be kissing, making out. That's
I don't like
gross.
that either. I don't like that either. I get it.
And so I kind of felt like I had to like pull back, but yeah, she said yes. It was a very, very beautiful moment. It was everything I wanted, and it felt like the kind of proposal that she wanted, and I think she agrees. It was very authentic to us. So yeah, that's
beautiful. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I don't think I've said that to you in person. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I'll be honest. I kind of like all the attention we're getting.
Yeah.
It'll be very short, very short-lived because everyone gets engaged at some point for the most part.
Not everybody.
Not everyone, but a lot of people do. But I'm gonna, fucking eat up all the attention I can.
Oh yeah, that's like one of the best parts about getting married.
Yeah.
You get so much attention.
Yeah, but then we called my mom, and then we called Emily's mom, Jill. She didn't answer like the first few times, and then when she finally answered, she like just screamed, and then she like a couple minutes later, she's like, "I hope you don't mind. I was just I feel like I think she was getting her car repaired. She's like, I hope you don't mind. I told the car guy." I was like, I don't care. I don't know why you would tell him.
She's getting her car fixed. She's like, my daughter just got engaged.
I think that might be exactly how it ended up.
Yeah.
But then we texted you and Megan, and then we texted Ben, and then we kind of from there slowly started telling people. Yeah.
Did your parents know beforehand that you were going to do it?
Yeah.
Her mom knew. Your mom knew.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were expecting the call.
Yep, they were expecting the call.
Nice.
Yeah. So I kind of told I think I told probably too many people, probably more than the average person would tell. I was just so excited. I'm really bad at holding on to
You
secrets.
get excited, and it's like, there's no rules. You can tell whoever you want to tell.
That's true.
As long as you and Emily are okay with it. It's a personal thing.
Yeah.
That's a great proposal, man.
Thanks, man.
I loved it.
Felt like it was okay.
I feel like it's a misconception that proposals have to be this like elaborate thing, right? I feel like the best ones are simple and intimate, and it's just you and that person, and you just do it, right? You just do it. You don't need to drop them out of the sky, skydiving, and do it in midair,
Yeah.
Or
Great way to lose the ring,
Yeah, or like set their house on fire, and then as it crumbles in the ashes, it says, "Will you marry me?" You don't have to do that.
That'd be pretty cool.
If you could pull that off, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, if you can get away with the arson part of it.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're so, happy that they're being proposed to that they just forget about the whole arson thing. Yeah, they don't care.
Okay.
They don't care. But yeah, mine was kind of similar to that. Mine was just like, mine's similar too, like with the whole public thing. Like people fucked it up like at least once or twice before I actually popped the question.
you were not in Minnesota, right?
No, we were.
You were, but you were like up north.
Yeah, so we went up north to Two Harbors.
Oh yeah.
So we did like a little camping thing there, and then we were on the lake, and there was this whole situation similar to yours where we're like on this rock, and there's this beautiful look of the lake, and the lighthouse is there, and it's picturesque, and it looks beautiful, and I'm about to do it, right? I've got the ring in my pocket. Similar to you, I didn't want the box, right? I didn't want the bulge. I had the ring free floating in there.
Whoa, that's
yeah,
dangerous.
It was risky,
especially if you're walking like near water.
I know. What can I say? But we were on this rock, and it's picturesque, and it looks beautiful. And then all of a sudden, these four shirtless dudes, just come running because we're on a beach, and they just dive into the water, and there's these big splashes, and they're like playing in the water and shit. And I'm just like, damn it. All right, let's keep walking. How nervous were you? Because I was like so nervous when I did it.
I wasn't really nervous. The only thing I was truly anxious about was just finding the right spot.
Yeah.
I like did very, very minimal searches on like online to see what the best spots on in Central Park would be. But then I reached a point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna walk. We're gonna walk. You know, there's like. We're going to be there for a couple hours. There's no real rush. If, once we find the spot, we'll find the spot. But the longer it took, the more I was like, fuck, it might not happen tonight. I'm not going to find the perfect spot. This sucks. And then eventually, like I said, we found that little clearing, and it was perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. I will say, so shortly after I popped the question, we kind of, sat and just talked and, we're happy and whatever. I broke the second surprise to her.
Oh.
And so I can't remember if I talked about it, but I'm sure I did mention it. But really, the whole reason we were in New York City was, so Emily's birthday was in December.
Yes.
For her birthday, I bought her plane tickets and play tickets to see a production in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Academy of Music called The Sign in Sidney Brewstein's Window. Mm-hmm. The reason that this play is so special is because amongst other high-level, high-profile actors, the star of the play was Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Now,
Oscar Isaac.
The Oscar Isaac. If you've seen him in Inside Llewyn Davis, Dune, Star Wars. He's in so many things. He's in a lot of like indie stuff, but he's also
Revenge for Jolly.
That is one of Emily's favorite movies. It's very weird. I'm not gonna say it's great.
I've never seen it. I just know she likes it.
I think it's just one of those ones that's like kind of bad, so it's kind of good.
Yeah.
But she loves Oscar Isaac. If you're like even remotely friends with Emily, you will know this.
Yes.
And when I was like looking for her birthday gift, she had anticipated moving soon, and she's been trying to get rid of shit. So I didn't like want to get just another
give her more
thing.
stuff.
And so I was just like furiously Googling where is Oscar Isaac?
Where is he right now?
What is he doing? I was looking at Comic-Con because I know she had mentioned other people. He showed up to one of those. And then eventually I found that like he's in this play starring opposite Rachel Brosnahan.
Okay, yeah.
Who was also great in the play. I'm getting ahead of myself. But so I found this play, booked the tickets and whatnot, and kind of at the same time I'm thinking, I should probably propose to Emily, and it just worked out that we'd be in New York City.
Nice.
Be a great spot to do it. And so about a month away from the start of the play, I had reached out and I was looking to find the director of the play, because what I wanted to do for Emily as a surprise, on top of the engagement, I really, really, really wanted her to meet Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes actors will like come out of the play for like a little meet and greet, but I wanted it to be more intimate, have a little more time than just like a quick picture.
Right.
And so I was like Googling the director, and I like was looking the director up on Instagram, and I texted you and I texted Megan. And I was like, would it be weird if I like went out of my way to message this poor woman and be like, hey, here's what's happening. I'm going to propose to my girlfriend. She fucking loves Oscar Isaac. Can we make this happen? Is there any chance that she could meet him? And so
we were just like, what? Yes, do that. Like, why wouldn't you just shoot her a DM? You might as well.
I didn't want to be so bold, and I didn't want to like disrespect. Like, I didn't want her to feel like she's, I don't know, just a pawn to make this next thing happen. I didn't really, because she's super busy. She's directing a fucking,
I'm sure,
high caliber play. And for about a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, she hadn't replied. And I'm like, you know what? She's probably not, she's not a Gen Zer that's like terminally online. She probably doesn't even check her Instagram.
Yeah.
And if she did, and she's like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this, it's A-okay.
Makes sense.
Totally buy it. And then she replied. And she was like, "Oh my God, this is such a great idea. You know, it's not weird." Because I was literally, I'm sorry if this is weird. She's like, "No, this isn't weird at all. You know, what day are you guys going to be here?" And so I messaged her. I'm like, almost instantly, I'm like, "We're going to be here. We're going to be this day at this time. Thank you so much. You know, please let me know if there's anything I need to do." And then she didn't reply for a couple weeks, and it's getting kind of close. And so I'm like, you know, I messaged her again, and I really didn't want to be really, you know, pushy,
right? Yeah.
Because she has a life and has, you know, a whole lot to do. And then she was like, "Okay, text me the show that you're going to be at, and then the day before and the day of the play, just message me on Instagram." I'm like, "Sweet, it's getting closer. It might happen." And so after I had proposed to her, a couple minutes after, I was like, "Hey, I just want to tell you this because I want to give you because the play was the next day. I was like, I want to give you just a full day to prepare for this because Emily, like me, is a very anxious, stressed out person." Mm-hmm. And so like, hey,
it would be very shocking to have no idea, and then all of a sudden she's in that situation, right?
Yeah, because I'd asked her like a month and a half ago. It's like, "Would you want to know if you're going to meet Oscar Isaac?" Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Yes, absolutely." And so I told her, and she was like, just in complete shock. She's like, "Really? Are you sure? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." You know, look at this message. I reached out to this director. Her name is Anne. It was an awesome play.
Shout out Anne.
You're the best, Anne. Seriously,
Anne, you rock.
I owe you
we
everything.
know you're listening. We love you.
And so the day of the play, Emily is super nervous. We got a nice dinner beforehand. We got there a bit early. We get into the venue, and Anne had messaged me, and I think she said, you know, "I'll let you know if it's all, you know, all good to go."
Yeah.
And then I put my phone into airplane mode, or do not disturb or whatever, because I'm, you know, now I'm sitting in.
You're in a play.
Yeah, I'm in the play. I don't want to, you know, mess it up.
You were on stage.
And then a couple minutes, we were actually the second row because I'm like, you know what, if Emily doesn't get to meet Oscar Isaac, she's at least
she's got front row seats,
feet away from him, and the seats were awesome. It was a fairly small theater,
right?
But we were still super close.
Awesome.
And so a couple minutes before the play started, I'm like, you know, I'm just going to check my phone one more time, see if she messaged, and she did, and she's like, her first message was, "It's gonna happen." And I'm like, "Oh my God,
it's gonna happen.
This is awesome." I showed Emily. She starts like freaking out. Then her next message was, "Stay in your seats after the show. If the ushers tell you to leave, tell them the director said you have to stay." And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I really want an usher to push me.
That's
like,
crazy.
Come on, so, someone tell me to leave. Tell me to leave.
I want to use my power, this small power that I have.
I was on a fucking high. And so I was like, you know, "Thank you so much. This is so awesome. Can't wait to see the play." And the play was about like 2.5, 3 hours almost. It was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
If you're in the area, go out and see it. It's really well done. Oscar Isaac was great. Rachel Brosnahan was great. All of the other, you know, actors in the play were awesome.
Yeah.
And so the play finishes. People are filing out. Emily is in like high panic mode.
Right.
You know, she's minutes away from meeting this person that she's, you know, absolutely obsessed with.
Googled multiple times.
Yeah.
Seen all of his films.
She's like, what do I say to him? You know, what if he thinks I'm weird? You know, all these things.
He
like,
might.
You know, he's just a person.
True.
He's really just a person. And so we're sitting there, and then an usher comes up to us. He's like, "Hey guys, the house is closed. You got to leave." And I was like, "The director said we have to stay." And the usher, like,
what did the usher say?
Usher go, and he's like, "Okay," and he like goes up to another usher, and he's like, "This guy's saying that the director told him to stay, even though we just saw the director go backstage." And I'm like, you know, I can show you the message if you want. And he's like,
"Do I need to call Anne?"
and he backed off. And then Anne had come up to us just to say hi and introduce herself, and then she headed backstage, and then we're just sitting there. And it was weird because like a bunch of people who were working on the play, I think they probably do some, like, after the play, they get together, talk about what worked. I don't know, something like that.
Sure.
Go
over it.
Yeah, like a little team huddle. And so a bunch of them are just like sitting feet away from us, and we're like, we shouldn't be here. This feels really weird.
We are not supposed to be sitting here.
We're not part of this. And so I felt kind of bad, and we're just, you know.
Right, like you're kind of infiltrating on some like weird like inside play stuff.
Yeah. And then eventually Oscar Isaac, you know, walks up to us, and like we both stand up, and like I'm starting to get nervous because I'm like, you know what, I've never met a celebrity before.
Yeah.
This dude is fucking awesome. And he comes up and he shakes our hands, and we introduce ourselves. He says his name is Oscar. He speaks like very softly.
Really?
He's just a super sweet dude. And then Anne came up and she's like, how cool is it that her fiance set this up? And he's like, yeah, that's so awesome. And he's like, so are you guys married? I'm like, no, we just got engaged. She's like, oh, congratulations. So how many people can say?
The first one to say congratulations to you was Oscar Isaac.
Not technically.
In person?
One of the first people in person.
Who was the first person?
I mean, I was staying with family.
Oh, yeah. Well, forget them. The first
really cool person.
The first really cool person to say it to you, to your face, Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
King in Dune.
The King in Dune.
The guy in Star Wars.
Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron.
Llewyn Davis.
Llewyn Davis.
And then so he asked us where we were from, and we were like, thank you. We're from Minnesota. We came out to see the show. Thank you so much. He's like, well, so great to meet you. And I'm like, could we get a picture? He's like, of course. So Anne was like, Emily, do you want a picture with just Oscar first? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, yeah, that works. So I took the picture, and right before I'd taken the picture, Emily was like, you probably never hear this, but Revenge for Jolly is one of my favorite movies. And he like had a big hard laugh from that. And she's like, yeah, I'm sure no one ever tells you that. And he's like, my aunt told me that actually. And then he's like, yeah, I'll tell. I think the name of the director is Brian or something. He's like, I'll tell Brian that you love it so much. He was just a really, really sweet guy. And then, I got up and took a picture of all of us. And then we said our goodbyes. And Emily has just been like on cloud nine ever since.
That's surreal.
She changed her profile picture to her and Oscar Isaac.
I would too.
Not the picture with me in it, of course.
Well, why would she?
You're right.
Everyone sees you. Everyone knows you exist.
That's true.
She was with Oscar Isaac. That's crazy. That's incredible.
Yeah. So
I'm low-key super jealous, by the way.
I feel like I've done a good job for birthdays for now.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm going to top it. I don't know how
you may never top that.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because now we know, like, you have knocked it out of the park more than anyone has ever knocked it out of the park.
Thank you.
You took her to New York City.
New York.
The Big Apple.
The Big Apple.
You proposed to her.
Yes.
Made her a fiancé.
Yes.
And brought her to an incredible play. Which was starring her biggest celebrity crush and just someone she loves.
Yes.
In the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you let her meet that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's still
Man of the year.
Partly doesn't feel real. But like I'll look back at the pictures and I'm like, wow, that was a pretty fucking fun trip. What a great day.
Nice.
And the funny thing is, so her next favorite actor is Pedro Pascal.
Okay.
Last of Us.
Yep.
Mandalorian. I mean, he's in so many things.
Yeah, he's in a lot.
But so the next day we went to the MoMA, Museum of Modern Art, and while we're walking around there, she gets an alert. She's on the Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac side of Twitter.
Why wouldn't she be?
And it was a picture of someone at the MoMA standing with Pedro Pascal.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, holy fuck, where is he? And she's like, oh, fuck, it was from yesterday.
Oh.
So we just barely missed him.
That would have been crazy if you were able to meet both of those men.
That's the other thing. 2 days before we saw the play, Pedro Pascal saw the play.
You guys and Pedro are like connected in some way. I don't know, man.
We're running parallel.
I mean, there's something, souls are intertwined. You and Pedro.
Yeah.
Could be.
It would have been awesome to meet him, but it was enough to meet Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the main things that happened on the trip. Obviously, those are probably the two coolest things we did.
Yeah, so now we know that you're a big birthday guy. You do big stuff for people's birthdays. So I'm looking forward to mine coming up in September.
Do you want to see a play with Florence Pugh?
Yes, please.
It's in Latvia.
Let's go, baby.
But I'm gonna end my talk about my engagement and my trip with thank you, Anne Kaufman. You're the
Shout
fucking
out,
best.
Anne.
You're a great director. Thank you, Oscar Isaac. Thank you, New York.
Thank you, New York.
Yeah, that's all I had to say.
Well, with that, I guess I can talk about what I've been doing.
Yeah, man. What have you?
Not much.
You just casually dropped that your child was born this weekend.
Yeah, he came early. He's preemie. He's upstairs right now.
Poe's watching him.
Yeah. You know, he's taking care of himself. He's a big boy now. He's at least a week old. No, he is not born. He is still inside the womb.
Still cooking.
Still cooking. Wait until he's golden brown or whatever color he comes out. We don't know. We discovered.
You don't know. All right.
We don't know. We don't know. We don't know if it's mine yet. Just kidding. Yeah. We discovered this weekend that he could be a ginger.
Really?
Yes. So Megan's got ginger on her side. Her dad is a ginger. He's got other gingers.
Steve's a ginger?
Yes, or was.
I was going to say, I feel like his hair is more blonde, brownish blonde.
No, he's ginger.
Really?
Full ginger.
Oh,
Do you see pictures of him when he's young? Full ginger.
Oh, Steve.
I think one of his brothers is ginger. Paul, maybe. Yeah, whatever. I don't need a name drop. But she's got the ginger gene on her side. And me, I was told, also have ginger on my side. My grandma was a ginger in her younger days.
Which side?
My dad's.
Okay.
My dad's mom.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
My cousin, ginger. We might have another one in there, but there's ginger blood in there.
Are you going to feel differently about your child if they have that
Yes. We're going to dye his hair from a very young age, so no one will ever know. He won't even know.
Can you dye it at the roots and it just never comes red?
Never
again?
comes red ever again.
So
No,
if you have a ginger child, you have to change the name.
to what?
Like O'Shea Markson or
Seamus.
something like that. Something that fits.
That'd be crazy, man. I don't know. That's the one thing that I'm so curious about is how is he going to look? Because me and Megan look very different. We're like polar opposites.
I think he'll be a very handsome lad.
I think
he has
so.
Very handsome parents.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, he's going to grow up to be a big boy. A good kid.
A big boy. I don't know
Sure.
about big boy.
Well, he might not be very tall. We'll see.
I hope he's just 6'5",
Dude, I hope.
270.
270. That's a big boy. He's playing some D1 sport, I hope. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty crazy. We finished.
So did this just come out of a conversation?
Yeah, I was talking with my parents and they were talking about what I think he's going to look like. And then I mentioned the ginger thing and then they were like, "Well, we got gingers too." And I was like, "Damn." So yeah, so that's a crazy thing that could happen and that's okay. Shout out to all the gingers out there. We all love you. They're a dying breed, by the way. Did you know this?
I did not know that.
By the year 2050 or something like that, gingers may cease to be born. They may no longer exist. I think because
are we
it's
selectively breeding them out of existence?
No, I think it's because it's a recessive gene.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's slowly phasing out. So there's not as many gingers being born, and eventually they're just going to be gone altogether.
Good. I'm just kidding. I know plenty of good gingers.
Really? Name 2. Got him. He doesn't know.
My friend Brian, lovely ginger.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough. The other thing
Steve.
we did. Yeah, he's good. The other thing we did was finish the nursery finally. Finally, it's done. I can't show it to you though, because his name is literally on the wall.
I know. You guys sent a picture. It looks really, really cute.
Yeah.
It's a little ocean themed.
Yep. Megan's grandma came in and she's good at painting, so she painted some sea animals on the wall.
Oh, it's so
It's
cute.
pretty adorable. So, yeah, it looks nice. It looks good.
The censored picture you sent contains one pixel of one letter.
Really?
I mean, it's
What did you see?
it was like a line. So
Oh,
it was
you
like
don't know. Yeah, you don't know.
A pixel of one line, a pixel of another.
It's actually not his name. There's actually just a dick on the wall. So we just censored it.
Who drew the dick?
Her grandma.
Oh,
She's really good at it. She's been drawing dicks for centuries.
you're on you're on thin ice with this conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I did, man. We can move on. And we're going to introduce a new segment today. We want to diversify, throw something new in the mix. So today, we're going to start with this segment, which we call the recommendation of the week. So we will be going over something that we've experienced recently, whether it be music, movies, TV, just anything in general.
Food, arts, culture, history,
Boom.
science, news.
Boom, name it. We can recommend it. And we will recommend that thing to y'all out there.
I have a question.
Yes.
We do question of the day,
Yeah?
but recommendation of the week.
Sure.
There's some inconsistencies.
I don't care.
That's
Can we
all I
call
have
it
to
whatever
say.
you want?
Can I go first with my recommendation?
Please.
And this is funny because I'm stealing something that you once recommended to me.
Yeah, I recommended this to you, and now you were recommending it to them.
But I don't know how we haven't talked about it. But if you haven't heard Lil Yachty's new album, Let's Start Here.
Yep.
It is a fucking masterpiece. It's a 10 out of 10.
Amazing.
So a couple weeks ago when it first came out, Elliot texted a group chat, and he's like, I know you guys probably won't listen to this, but you should listen to Lil Yachty.
Okay. The reason I phrased it like that is because I recommend music to you guys all the time, and you guys always laugh at me. I remember in college, I recommended Kanye West to you guys. I told you guys to listen to The Life of Pablo, and you all made fun of me when I showed you songs, and you were like,
Okay, here's the thing.
And now you all listen to that music.
Here's the thing. Kanye, so let's
not get on the Ye train right now.
Not to get on the A train, but like Life of Pablo was very different than
Sure.
his past work.
Okay.
And so on first listen, it's weird.
Okay.
But I got into it. But also know in the last year you've recommended Denzel Curry and
Yeah.
Saba, two artists that I now have
I'm
very
constantly
fond for.
trying to recommend music to my friends, and half the time I'm laughed at and discarded to the side as if I'm some crazy person.
I'm gonna be honest. When you said Lil Yachty, you have to listen to his Lil Yachty's new album. I was very close to not.
I get it.
Just because his style, his voice, it's never really been something I like.
No.
I've never gotten too deep into his discography, but what I've listened to, I'm like, you know what, this isn't really for me.
Yeah.
But then you were like, no, he's gonna listen. Then I'm like, you know what, fuck you, I will listen, and it's fucking awesome. It's been my driving music. It's been my flying music.
Wow.
On the count of 3, I think we should each say our favorite song from the album.
Okay.
3. Now you go.
2.
Okay, now I'm gonna go. Okay. 1.
I've officially lost vision.
I didn't say mine. Drive Me Crazy.
Okay.
Do you like that one?
Yeah, I like them all. I don't think there's like a bad song on there.
Mm-mm. It's so vibey. I don't know how to like best describe it.
It's okay. So this album is influenced largely, and he's said this, by Pink Floyd and like progressive psych rock like that, right? So it's like, I think Yachty's been doing a lot of drugs.
Maybe.
He's admitted to doing DMT multiple times.
Maybe.
So he's on this like trippy vibe, on this like, you know, just feeling the feelings and emotions and all that stuff, and that you can really hear it on the album, and it's really good. And it does sound like Pink Floyd a little bit. Like you can definitely hear the influences. Obviously, he's doing a totally different genre. He's a rapper.
Yeah.
He's not normally doing this, right? But I think he makes it his own. I think it sounds really good. And yeah, I agree. It's a great recommendation.
There's only one skip on the album. in my
What's the
opinion.
skip?
And it's not even like a really bad song. It's just not my favorite.
Which one?
It's the second track. I think it's called The Ride.
The Ride. Yeah, you know, I feel like that's one of the weaker ones. It's okay.
The only reason I don't like it is whatever guy he has on it just kind of spoils the song for me.
Which guy?
The guy who's like, V as in void, I always avoid some, you know, that guy.
It's still a good song.
Yeah.
On a ride.
It's like his part is fine. It's just this one dude who just like, you know, who is this guy? But everything else is so good, and like especially like the last 5 or 6 tracks.
Oh,
just a perfect.
I think it gets better as it keeps going.
It absolutely
I think
does.
the last half is better than the first half.
It absolutely does. Black Seminole is the first track on the album.
Really
good
song.
Good. I get to a point where like I don't want to hear the woman screaming anymore because like the last like 3 minutes are just like kind of a woman. It's tasteful, but she's like...
You're really selling the album. There's like this guy going, wah, wah, and then there's this lady just screaming for 3 full minutes.
You have to give it a shot. You'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. That's my recommendation of the week. If you don't listen to it, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, all those friends out there, you know who you are. Take my recommendations.
Ben.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Steve? Do we want Steve to listen?
Sure, why not?
You should listen.
It's from his time.
But if you don't want to listen, that's all right.
Whatever. My recommendation of the week, and we dipped into this a little bit when you mentioned Pedro Pascal. I'm going to recommend the show The Last of Us.
Never heard of it. No one's talking about it.
It is all over the internet right now, but if you have not watched it yet, please do. The show is so good. It's based on this video game, a post-apocalyptic video game, right?
Yes.
I haven't played it. I'm assuming you have.
Yes, I have.
Okay. So essentially it's like another zombie sort of thing, but it's like a virus going around.
Oh. It's not like an ordinary zombie game.
No, not
the zombies, the pandemic is caused by cordyceps, which is a type of fungi.
Yep.
So they're all mushroomy zombies.
Yeah, they're all shroomed out.
But the story is so beautiful. I mean, each and every single episode just fucking tears your heart out.
Are you caught up?
I am caught up.
You're caught up now?
Got caught up last night.
Oh, that last episode was insane. This show is so great. So it's starring Pedro Pascal, and I don't know who the other actors are. I can't name them.
Bella Ramsey plays Ellie. She was
Okay,
in
yep.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so it's following Pedro Pascal. His character's name is Joel, and it starts off, it's him and his partner Tess, and they're bringing this girl, and they got to bring her out to Wyoming to meet these people because this girl is special.
She's special.
I'm trying not to give any spoilers.
That's all we can say to be spoiler free. But it is so well done. And so I bought the game. Came out remastered on PS5.
Yeah.
The original came out in 2013. And then when it came out on PS5, I'm like, you know what? The show's coming up. I love Pedro Pascal. I'm going to give this a shot. And man, it was so good. Probably the best story in a video game that I've ever played.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of the show is, so a lot of times when there's, you know, a TV or movie adaptation from like a book, or, you know, not very often, but from a video game, it usually sucks.
Yes, I agree.
Because in the parts where they should remain faithful to the game, they don't, or the book or whatever.
Yeah.
And the parts where they should, you know, take some creative leeway,
Yeah.
they go too far.
Right.
Or the show is just so perfectly done. There's a lot of most important scenes in the video game are basically 1-to-1 in the show.
Yeah.
And and where they do kind of veer off from the original story, they do it so well. I mean, episode 3 is probably the biggest example of kind of taking a different creative approach to.
Is that the Nick Offerman one?
Yeah, the one with Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Because really, the story between Bill and Frank that episode 3 focuses on, in the show, you really only get to interact, or in the game, you really only get to interact with Bill. And so they kind of expand on this very briefly talked about relationship. Yeah. And it's just so well done.
Yeah,
so
I feel like they really did a good job of taking creative liberties, but also staying faithful to the real story. It's told very well, and the characters. I mean, normally I'm not very into this. Like, when I first heard about it, I was like, ugh, another post-apocalyptic zombie
That's fair.
show.
That's a fair
okay,
response.
all right. And my wife was the same way. Megan was like, whatever. But then we put it on because obviously people are talking about it, and it blew our balls off. It's a great show. Please watch it. Please get caught up. I think there's only a couple episodes left in the season.
I think there's 9 total, so I think that means we have 4 left, right?
Really?
Yeah. No,
I thought
3 left.
3 left. I thought there was like 6 last. The most recent one.
You're
I don't
right.
know. There's
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's like 6
there's
episodes
only
out.
3 episodes left. But so far the game is out. Part 1 is a separate game. Part 2 is a separate game. I've never played Part 2. But kind of at the trajectory they're at, season 1 might end where Part 1 ends.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad, because that means that there's not going to be a ton of seasons.
I'm okay with that because I like when shows are like more condensed and they just focus on telling the story the way it's supposed to be told and not dragging it out more than it needs to be.
That's fair. It's just, for me, it's like kind of hard to balance. Like, yes, you're right. We shouldn't, take The Hobbit and make it 3 films.
Right. Doesn't need to be.
But also, I love content. At the end
true.
of the day, I love content.
It's true. I love content. I'll be sad when it's over, but I'll be happy while it's going on.
Yeah. Great recommendation.
Great recommendations
all
around.
If you're not watching it yet, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing with your life? What could you possibly be doing?
Message Elliot. He'll give you his HBO Max
I
password.
will give you my HBO Max login. I'll give it to you. Just send me a DM. Actually, if you like and share this video, I will personally send you my HBO Max login.
God, I hope someone does that. I want to see you follow
and
through.
DM me. Follow through.
I hope it's like someone we've never met, and I've given them your information.
We'll see. I'll give it to them. They won't. You won't.
All right. I think you have a question for me.
I do. Question of the day. This one is
really stupid.
This one is so silly. When I thought of this, I was like, this is so stupid. Okay. If you could have 2 animals in the world switch roles, what animals would you switch? I'll give you an example. So, what I thought of that would be fun is if we switched all of the pigeons with penguins and then sent all the pigeons to live like penguins. So then when you're in New York City, the Big Apple, instead of pigeons, there's a bunch of flocks of penguins everywhere.
Okay.
What animals would you switch?
Wait, do the penguins... Wait, can the pigeons survive?
Yes. No, so they essentially switch roles, right? So the pigeons, as if they were born in Antarctica, but they're still pigeons.
That's their native habitat.
Right.
The penguins, they still can't fly? Or they can fly?
You're asking too many questions. It's just penguins, all right?
Okay, my bad. I think I would switch ants
Oh,
because they invade your home,
okay.
and gorillas.
Could you imagine if there's like 1,000 gorillas underneath the ground and you just like step on a gorilla mound? You just get absolutely fucking mauled.
And an infestation of gorillas is just a fucking death sentence.
They're bursting through the walls. Silverbacks.
I say that because we have an ant problem right now.
Oh.
And ants are bad enough. but imagine gorillas.
Could be worse though.
Could be gorillas.
Imagine if your ants were gorillas. Not your ants like your mom's sister.
Not your
ants
mom's
as in
sister.
the ones in the ground or in your walls.
Could you imagine how the pest control job would completely transform? You go from like some pudgy dude with like a hard hat
Yeah.
and a tank of like ant knockout gas.
Yeah, to like Dog the Bounty Hunter with like a RPG.
He has like a fucking headdress made of gorilla.
Honestly, if ants were switched with gorillas, I feel like gorillas would be running the world because
Yeah.
there's so many ants in the world.
Yeah.
There's so many. Billions. There's more ants than people.
Also, who becomes the apex predator in the jungle if there's suddenly now... Well, there's probably already ants.
If there's just ants. Well, there are ants there, but
are
we're
ants.
talking like
Sugar ants.
the ants you find here.
Little baby ants.
in the jungle.
Maybe some carpenter ants.
Yeah. I mean, at least we don't have to deal with ants anymore,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
Just gorillas. How about this one? What if we switched all of the dogs in the world with giraffes? So at the zoo, you go to see dogs because they're really rare. They're from Africa. They're really cool. They're like going up on the trees, trying to eat the leaves, and no one knows what sound they make. And then in your home, you just have a giraffe.
I think houses would have to be built differently. They'd have
They
to be
would.
built specifically to accommodate
Yeah.
all the giraffes. Or people just would have cats.
Could you imagine if we had domesticated giraffes? That'd be incredible.
I would like... the part that excites me more is not the domesticated giraffes,
Yeah.
but the stray giraffes.
Ooh, yeah. You run in. Don't want to hit a stray giraffe with your car. They have like there's just no, this is great. This is great. There's just like instead of like not pounds, but like where they keep dogs, like adoption places for dogs.
Yeah.
It's giraffes. This giraffe needs a home. You're on Pet Finder, just looking for a new pet, but you're looking through giraffes, and they have fun names like Giggles and Cheeto.
I have to say there'd probably be fewer giraffes because dogs.
No.
When a dog is pregnant, they have like 10 puppies. When a giraffe is pregnant, I have no idea what happens.
I imagine they're like horses.
Yeah,
There's just one.
one
One pops out.
so that fewer
But,
births.
ooh, different breeds of giraffes. Because all dogs, right?
I think there's only one breed of giraffe.
Yeah, but in this world, there's multiple.
Oh, okay. So people are crossbreeding to try to create different.
Ooh, maybe we'd have
variants.
like tiny giraffes and then
Oh my God,
large giraffes.
Yeah, we'd have a small giraffe that like can't breathe. That would probably be like one of the main breeds.
Actually, that'd be sick if you could have like a mini giraffe in your house that's like the size of my chihuahua.
Yeah, that
but
would
it's
be
just a
pretty cool.
giraffe.
Yeah, but I feel
Long
like,
ass neck.
I feel like it'd be scary for them, right? They have to be super fucking fragile because imagine their proportions get shrunk down to being tiny.
That's true.
They already have very small legs,
They do.
so you could like flick one and it's like femur would snap.
Well, you got to be careful. You
yeah.
got to be careful. Maybe you'd have like special little giraffe boots you throw on them. A cute little giraffe with little boots on. Maybe a little hat. What would you name your giraffe?
Mark.
Jesus.
What?
Mark.
I like human names for animals.
That's true. That's true. I do too.
Yours is Poe.
Yeah.
After Edgar Allan.
After Edgar Allan. He came with that name, though. We didn't name him.
Yeah, my Joey. Every animal we ever had also comes with
Yeah, he just came with it, and we're like, we're not thinking of anything better than that. It's a good name.
Have you ever read him any short stories from Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah, I read him The Raven and that one about the clocks.
The one about the clocks?
I don't know. Is there one about clocks?
I'm thinking of the one, was like something the heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With the heart.
God, we're so scholarly.
God, I know a lot about literature.
We're just fucking illiterate. Can't think of two stories.
What's it called?
It's the thumping. The thumping.
Yeah, the thumping heart, and the guy kills.
Underground
doesn't
heart.
he kill somebody?
I think
puts him in the floorboards.
Yeah.
Is that Edgar Allan?
Yeah. And he's like freaking out because he hears the heart. The telltale heart. Boom.
The Telltale Heart.
I've read a short story.
Go read it. Another recommendation.
All right. I think it's time to wrap it up with an article I would like to share with you. Now, if you're thinking, hey, these two fine gentlemen have not talked nearly enough about The Last of Us.
Absolutely not. Haven't.
Get fucked, because you're about to hear it more.
Get fucked.
So I'm going to say this is our bizarre news segment.
Bizarre news.
But really, it's not that bizarre. So this is from NPR. Basically, like we talked about, the premise of the show is the virus that causes the zombies to become zombies is not like your traditional virus. It's caused by a fungus.
Yes.
And so the person writing this article was kind of trying to see like how likely is that to occur.
Could be.
And so the show starts with the first two episodes kind of do a backstory of how the virus came to be. But specifically, I think they go back to like the 70s, in which a scientist is talking about the next pandemic, and their fear being
he was wrong.
He was he was talking about fungi being the thing that he fears, because so if you're not familiar with like cordyceps, it's a type of fungus that specifically like affects like bugs and insects, but it's super fucking gross. Have you ever seen a picture or like a video of it happening?
Nope.
So basically, the fungus will get inside an insect, and it will like shoot out of their body.
Oh.
And then it will control the body of the insect and basically get it to die or move and die close to a colony.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen like a video of like a bug that's like dead, but it's moving.
Yes.
And people are like, how is this bug moving? It's dead.
Yeah, and so basically the fungi will force the bug to get close to its colony, and then it will die, and upon death, the spores will come out.
Whoa.
This is a very poor explanation. But
no, you're good.
The main gist of it, the spores will come out, and then they'll impact, more of the hive, the colony, whatever.
That's crazy. How does it know? How does it know to bring it there? What is going on here?
See, that's a great question. That's a great question. One I don't have an answer to. It's just a fungus,
I guess, but it. What?
And so this article kind of talks about, what it would take for a fungus to actually impact humans.
Okay.
And so right now, the thing that we have going for us is fungus doesn't mutate as well, whereas like your typical, regular ass virus, say COVID,
sure,
it can mutate much faster. And so, in a matter of a couple of weeks, it can say, all right, I've fucked with, so many humans. These humans are starting to get pretty resistant to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna become a different variant, and I'm gonna suddenly become much harder for your immune system to adapt to.
Man,
that's not really something that fungus can't do.
They're dumb.
Article says they mutate about 10,000 times slower than viruses.
Okay,
that's what scientists are.
That's pretty slow.
So it's pretty slow. And also, people who are just generally healthier, they can usually fight off fungal infections before they become dangerous.
Nice. Good to know.
Yeah.
Stay healthy. And
so, obviously, the scientists this article is working with, they're saying, viruses are still the thing that are more likely to impact us, as we all see. How many people have fucking died from COVID?
Yeah, there's a lot of viruses out there.
But here's the thing: fungi are changing.
Oh.
And it can become more infectious to people.
Oh no!
Something the so fungus, requires a lot more heat, warmer environment to survive in. It's addressed in the show. Obviously things are heating up with global warming if you believe in it, which you should.
If you believe in that sort of stuff.
So right now, there's no immediate concern. There's no expectation that fungi are going to somehow, transform.
Yeah.
But it could. Climate change could potentially pressure fungi to survive higher temperatures like that of the human body. It's possible.
So as the globe warms, the fungi adapt, they could learn to survive in these, or be they need hot. They need hotter temperatures. I have comprehension. I understood what you said.
Well said.
They need hotter temperatures, so as the globe warms, they could spread everywhere.
The article says there's some evidence that this process has already begun.
Oh, no.
So there's a fungus species called Candida auris, something like that. It's an
sick.
emerging species first detected in a 70-year-old woman's ear in Japan in
Gross.
2009. And it's already emerged independently on 3 continents. This fungus species is pretty nasty because it is resistant to many of the drugs that we have available.
Ooh.
Part of the problem is if we don't have a lot of people messing with fungus on a daily basis, we usually don't have the same necessary medications to be able to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this specific fungus has an advantage in changing in such a way that it can cause disease in people.
Wow.
So I don't know if that means that it's better at mutating than other fungus.
Okay.
It's they believe it might be able to rapidly change just like viruses, but it's a major problem in many hospitals, including in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the article is saying.
Like where? Like in the bayou? Like I'm just thinking of where fungus grows.
Maybe
we're out in the swamp and I got some fungus in my ear.
But the good thing is this is not a good thing, but it's for us. It's mainly a risk for people with compromised immune systems.
Thank God.
And people who are already very sick.
Just kidding.
But for most people, it is probably harmless.
Probably. For now.
But she goes on to say, fungal infections definitely keep me up at night because I see all the work that is performed on bacteria and viruses and how much we know about all those microorganisms. And then we look over at the fungal pathogens.
They keep her up at night?
Yeah. And I see we know
like
so much less.
She needs to, dial it back. I mean, you can't be letting fungus keep you up at night. There's a lot more there's other things to worry about. Heart disease.
If you study...
If fungus is keeping you up at night, I mean, you just have anxiety.
If you study viruses and pathogens, maybe it's something you should...
Yeah, it's in the brain. It's in the front of the brain.
Just because we're less capable of rising to meet, the concerns, right?
Yeah.
Medicine's not there yet.
Not
because
there.
It doesn't need to be there yet. But if you're a constant panicker, be scared of mushrooms,
Be scared.
Man.
There is someone out there who's like one of those doomsday preppers who saw this coming a mile away. And they're like, now people are seeing The Last of Us, and now they're aware of it, right? Now they're aware. But these people are ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. They're ready for the fungal infections to start hitting everybody in the United States and the rest of the world.
My final thought, and I've said it before, for a bit, I would love to try out a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
For a bit.
When I'm watching that show, and I know we've talked about it a lot, but sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, this looks kind of fun.
Seems pretty cool.
They're just like running around, nowhere to be, nothing to do, just kind of like...
No 9 to 5.
No 9 to 5. They're just walking for weeks, just kind of seeing the world.
If we ever get really wealthy, do you want to just like buy like a ranch together?
Hell yeah.
And just like do that?
Dude, let's get a ranch. Let's get a ranch out in like Wyoming.
Ranch Brothers.
Woo! Ranch Brothers.
We're rebranding the podcast.
Yeah, welcome back to Ranch Brothers, home of the ranch.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts, everybody. Don't be too worried about fungus. It's probably fine. You're probably going to be fine. But then again, we thought we were all fine before the pandemic that already hit. But you're going to be good out there. Stay healthy, stay good. And also listen to that Lil Yachty album and watch The Last of Us, you sons of bitches. Just fucking do it. Also, thanks, Ann.
Thank you, Ann.